A number of analysts believe that the potentials of a resourceful country like Nigeria will be unleashed if there was adequate power supply. The reality is that any 21st century knowledge-driven economy will not be able to make progress without meeting her energy needs. In Nigeria, only about 4,000 megawatts is generated, leaving individuals and organizations with no choice but to spend billions of naira powering their generators. This development has hampered the growth of the economy and reduced the possibility of Nigerian-based firms, particularly those in manufacturing, to compete globally. So the big question is simple: how can technology and experts in the industry help? Today on the show, we chat with an expert who believes that the problem of inadequate supply can be fixed if the right decisions are taken and followed through.
I think we've, again, opinion of mine is that I think we've missed the boat. There was an opportunity for Nigeria to do a lot of things differently, to grab modernity and really have a transformation agenda for power. It's not something new to us. We've did it in the telecom sector. We've grown faster than most nations have ever grown by just accepting technology and moving forward. We haven't done the same in the power sector. There is a lot of new, just sensational power mixes that we can have and adopt in Africa, and especially Nigeria, because we have such a young population that absorbs technology and utilizes it almost on a day-to-day basis, more than any African country. And I believe that our power sector has been lackadaisical in moving forward in that way. Yes, we hear about solar, but that's even so last year, it's not even funny anymore. We have power in different ways, whether it's storage, whether it's salt storage, whether it's thermal power generation, and we have everything at our fingertips. What's missing? I always ask myself this question: do we understand that the leadership we need in the power sector is what gets us out of the malaise that we're in? Do we realize that we're blessed with so much sunlight and so much natural resources that we can use to generate power? Are we so blind to this? Or am I just from a different planet? And that's kind of the way I've always looked at this. And I think it's a question of leadership. That is why our power sector is in the quandary it is right now. Do we stay traditional, or do we expand to a much more modern approach to power?
Can our technology industry ever complete globally without fixing our power industry?
In my personal opinion, it's impossible, and I think that should be evident to most people. Without power, our technology is dormant and dead. Our power sector really is the engine room for the next platform for Nigeria's growth. We can't fix it. We're stuck at 4,000. Our transmission is poor, if not failing. In any observation from any quarter you look at, our power sector has failed the nation. 4,000 megawatts for 200 million people just does not equate to anything even relating to our growth as a nation. We're a very young population, 50% under 19.5 years old. We need to be fixing our energy before we fix anything else. So when we're absorbing technology without power, it's like trying to cook without gas. It's just not possible. So we're stuck in this and we need to fix it. That should be the plan of our nation building from yesterday. We need to fix our power situation. And it's not something that you're saying for the first time. We all say it, but what is the plan to fix it? And that's where our focus as a nation should be, because if we fix it, we fix security. If we fix it, we fix growth. If we fix it, we fix healthcare. We fix education. We fix everything. So we're dependent on power for everything that we need to do in this country.
From your experience as a professional, what are some of the ways technology can help us solve the challenges in the power sector?
I think we need to be less focused on the traditional forms of power. There's a simple way I look at this, maybe too simplistic sometimes, but in any normal well-functioning nation, it may take you 4 years to build a power plant. And that's sort of the time period in which one administration is sorted out. Let's not beat about the bush. Our country is very slow in getting anything done. So even within one administration's time, it's almost impossible to build a power plant, a conventional power plant. However, you can build smaller, more compact, more focused power using whether solar or storage at points in which you need to deliver power. You can build a 100 megawatt power plant in 6 months. If you do that with the drive that you need to build a nation, you could have multiple 100 megawatt power plants built on a yearly basis and fix that power situation. But there has to be a will. Without a will, there's no way. That comes to the leadership. Everyone seems to always blame the president for, the power situation. I think the only blame you can put there is you have to pick the right person that can fix the problem, rather than put in a lawyer to fix, a power problem, or get an accountant to fix, water. So it doesn't mean you need a square and a square and a circle and a circle. And this is where we're missing the boat. This is where we've gone off course.
Finally, Malik, recently, Bicenergy, a startup focused on renewable energy and solar, raised $9 million to expand its renewable energy footprint. What are some of the policies that will support companies like yours and many others to solve this challenge in our power industry?
Money is really not the problem as far as I see this. It's the offtake of the technology you build. We're a Nigerian tech company that produces power solutions that does very little here in Nigeria, but in other African countries we have tremendous success. It beguiles me to understand why that happens, but a prophet is never welcome in his own village, so you just keep plowing away. My focus is, as a company, is we use our resources to be innovative, to be creative, to really develop the solutions. If en masse they begin to catch fire, then our production costs come down, our economies of scale make these more affordable. And this is why companies like Tesla have done well. Government has involved itself. BYD doing well. The Chinese government has involved itself. We're going to see this come eventually when we have leadership that understands it, but doesn't mean we should just wait for that. We are really searching for the right solution, the right governmental guidance, and we can be restrictive. We are a disruptive technology. I can see why conventional power may not like what we do. For example, we are part of a group that signed one of the 14 renewable energy projects, solar projects by the Ministry of Power. PPA was signed, nothing was delivered. Prices were changed, contracts dishonored. Really, it's not the best way for us to grow a nation. We really need to be focused. People will pay for power. We just, if I look at it from a very basic point of view, you build a house, the first thing you get is a generator. I mean, we shouldn't be at that position. We want the power to be able to get there. And if you cannot get there in traditional formats, then let's find other ways to make things better for us as Africans.
Malik, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today. Thank you for being on the show.
My real pleasure. Thank you.
That was Malik Ado Ibrahim, founder Bicenergy. And like you've heard him state, we have to get our power sector right, because without that, we may not be able to build a formidable tech industry. One direction we have to wholeheartedly explore as a nation is that of smart grid options. We simply need to look at options that are leaner, smarter, faster, and more effective for our rapidly growing population in a world that is being disrupted in many ways than one, no thanks to technology and innovation. That's our show for today. Please follow us on social media, and don't forget, you can watch these and previous editions of the show on the Channels TV YouTube account or via cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.